You are giving away your power every single time you say yes when your soul is screaming no. You think you are being kind, you think you are being good, but the truth is, you are being weak, and the world is stepping on you because of it. Stop lying to yourself. Being nice is not a virtue when it destroys your self-respect. It is a slow, silent suicide of your potential. Right now, in this very moment, someone with half your talent is living the life you prayed for. Why? Because they were not afraid to set boundaries. They were not afraid to be disliked. They did not care about pleasing everyone. They cared about fulfilling their destiny. You are sitting there, holding back your power, trying to make sure nobody gets offended. And while you are keeping the peace for everyone else, you are declaring war on your own future. Look at your life. Really look at it. You pick up the phone when you want to rest. You lend money you cannot afford to lose. You listen to gossip that drains your spirit. You smile at people who disrespect you behind your back. You do all of this because you are terrified of being called cold. You are terrified of being seen as the bad guy. So you play the martyr. You carry the weight of everyone's demands while your own dreams rot in the corner. Do you know what the world does to nice people? It consumes them. It uses their light to warm itself and then discards the ashes when they burn out. People do not respect a carpet. They step on it, they wipe their feet on it, and then they walk away without a second thought. That is what you have allowed yourself to become. A platform for other people's comfort while you sink into obscurity. Listen closely, because what I am about to tell you will change the way you view every interaction for the rest of your life. There is a massive difference between being a good person and being a nice person. A good person acts from a place of strength, truth and love. They have a spine, they have a sword, they know how to use it, but they keep it sheathed until justice demands it. A nice person acts from a place of fear. They operate out of a desperate need for approval. They are nice because they are afraid of conflict. They are nice because they are addicted to being liked. And that fear, that deep-seated cowardice, is killing your purpose. Think about the spiritual reality of what you are doing. When you shrink yourself to make others comfortable, you are burying your God-given talent in the dirt. You were not created to be a quiet observer in your own life. You were created to lead. You were created to build. You were created to leave a legacy that outlives your name. But spiritual darkness loves a nice person. Why? Because a nice person will never stand up against injustice. A nice person will never disrupt the status quo. A nice person will let the enemy walk right into their house, sit at their table, and take their peace, all while serving them tea. There was a time when I lived like you. I thought my value was tied to how much pain I could absorb for other people. I thought if I just sacrificed enough of myself, the universe would reward me. I bowed my head. I bit my tongue. I swallowed my pride. I watched people take credit for my hard work while I smiled and said it was no big deal. I let toxic family members bleed my finances dry because they shared my blood. I let fake friends dump their emotional trash into my mind every single night while I sat in silence, drowning in their darkness. And do you know what happened? I woke up one day and realized I was completely empty. I had no energy. I had no vision. I had no wealth. I had sacrificed my own divine calling on the altar of other people's convenience. I was sitting in a dark room, staring at the wall, listening to the ticking of a clock, realizing that time was running out. Year after year was slipping away, and nobody was coming to save me. The same people I had bled for were nowhere to be found when my world fell apart. They were out enjoying their lives using the energy they stole from mine. That was the night everything changed. That was the night I declared war on my own weakness. I fell to my knees in that cold room, and I wept. I prayed with a fury I had never felt before. I asked for the strength to cut the leeches out of my life. I asked for the courage to stand in my truth, even if it meant standing alone. And in that heavy, spiritual silence, a voice whispered to my spirit. It said, "The kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force. Peace is not the absence of conflict. Peace is the presence of power." From that moment on, the old me died. I stopped answering calls from people who only remembered me when they needed a favor. I stopped explaining myself to people who were committed to misunderstanding me. I locked my doors. I turned off the noise. I entered the shadow phase. I realized that if I wanted to win, if I wanted to dominate, if I wanted to step into the authority that was mine by divine right, I had to master the power of dangerous silence. You see, when you step into true high-value energy, you no longer seek validation. You become a mystery. You stop announcing your moves. You stop defending your choices. You move like a ghost through the noise of the world. People start talking about you. They say you have changed. They say you are distant. They say you are arrogant. Let them talk. Their opinions are just cheap wind hitting a mountain. A mountain does not care what the wind thinks. It just stands. Most people get this completely wrong. They think being strong means shouting loud. They think it means being aggressive and picking fights. No, that is cheap, low-value noise. True power is cold. True power is quiet. True power is the ability to look someone dead in the eyes, say the word no, and offer zero explanation. Can you do that? Or are you going to keep making excuses for people who do not care if you survive? We are living in the year 2026. Look around you. The world has changed. The window for mediocrity is completely closed. The weak are getting crushed at a speed we have never seen in human history. The comfortable are being wiped out. The distracted are being enslaved by algorithms, debt, and psychological warfare. If you enter this era carrying the baggage of being a people pleaser, you will be destroyed. There is no middle ground anymore. You are either the predator or you are the prey. You are either building your kingdom or you are bricking someone else's. It is time to wake up. If you want to break the curse of being the nice guy, if you want to reclaim your magnetic presence and command respect, the moment you step into a room, you must implement 3 non-negotiable spiritual and psychological pillars starting today. Listen closely to the first pillar. You must starve the parasites of your energy. Every single person in your life is either an asset or a liability. There is no neutral. Some people are spiritual vacuum cleaners. They carry a dark, heavy frequency of victimhood, laziness, and envy. They enter your life, they pretend to be your friend, but their true goal is to pull your vibration down to their level so they do not feel alone in the gutter. Notice how you feel after speaking to certain people. Do you feel inspired? Do you feel driven? Or do you feel drained, confused, and heavy? That heaviness is not just psychological, it is spiritual warfare. They are feeding on your light because their own flame went out years ago. Starting right now, you must establish a zero-tolerance policy for low-value energy. You do not owe anyone an explanation for pulling back. You do not need to hold a meeting to tell someone you are cutting them off. Just disappear. Reduce your responses to one-word answers. Take hours to reply, then days, then never. Move in total silence. Block the channels. Seal your fortress. When you starve a spiritual parasite of your attention, it will naturally detach and look for another host. Let them go. Protect your sacred space at all costs. Now, here is the second pillar. And this is where most people fail. You must build a high-value boundary of dangerous mystery. When you walk into a room,
Do you talk too much?
do you laugh nervously at jokes that are not funny just to make people comfortable? Do you over-explain your plans? Stop it immediately. Excessive talking is a sign of internal weakness. It tells the world that you are seeking approval. It tells the enemy where your vulnerabilities lie. A high-value individual speaks with precision. Their words carry weight because they are rare. When you speak less, every word you utter sounds like a command. Learn the art of the dramatic pause. Look people in the eyes, hold their gaze, and let silence do the heavy lifting. When someone asks you a personal question that is none of their business, do not answer it. Smile softly, stay quiet, and watch them squirm in their own discomfort. Silence creates tension, and tension creates respect. When you withhold your thoughts, people start obsessing over what you are thinking. You become magnetic. You become an enigma. The world fears what it cannot understand, and it respects what it cannot control. Own your atmosphere. Stop bleeding your information to the crowd. Keep your victories hidden. Keep your struggles hidden. Build your empire in the dark so that when it finally appears, it looks like a miracle to those who doubted you. And here is the third pillar. the ultimate secret to absolute sovereignty. You must embrace the holy fire of isolation. You are terrified of being alone. That is why you accept fake friends. That is why you stay in dead relationships. That is why you go to events you hate with people you do not like. You are running away from the quiet room because in the quiet room, you have to face yourself. You have to face your fears. You have to face your failures. But hear me when I say this: isolation is the holy fire where kings are forged. Every great leader, every spiritual giant, every visionary who ever walked this earth had to go into the wilderness alone. Moses had the desert, Jesus had the wilderness, David had the caves. You cannot receive a high-level revelation while you are listening to the low-level chatter of the crowd. God cannot speak to you about your future while you are drowning in the noise of other people's opinions. Embrace the season of being alone. Love the silence. Use your isolation to sharpen your mind, build your body, stack your capital, and deepen your spiritual authority. Train while they sleep. Study while they party. Save while they spend. Pray while they mock. When you spend 6 months in absolute focus, disconnected from the foolishness of the world, you will emerge as a completely different creature. You will walk with a heavy, unshakable aura. People will feel your presence before you even open your mouth. They will sense that you have been in the fire, and they will know better than to cross you. But there is a dangerous warning you must hear right now. If you listen to this message, if you feel the power rising in your chest right now, and then you go right back to your old ways, your punishment will be severe. The universe does not spare those who know the truth but choose to live in darkness. If you choose to remain the nice person, if you keep playing the victim, if you keep letting people drain your life force, 2026 will be the year that breaks you completely. You will watch your dreams get handed to someone bolder. You will watch your health decline from the stress of unexpressed rage. You will grow old, bitter, and filled with the ultimate pain, the pain of regret. Imagine sitting in a chair 40 years from now, looking back at your life, knowing that you had the divine spark within you, knowing that you could have been great, but you traded it all away just so a few average people would think you were sweet. That is the ultimate tragedy. That is hell on earth. Do not let that be your story. Rise up right now. Tear down the altar of people-pleasing. Burn the bridge to your old weak self. You owe nothing to your past. You owe everything to your potential. From this second forward, you move with intention. You move with purpose. You move like a storm that is quietly gathering strength over the ocean, waiting for the precise moment to strike the shore. You are no longer here to be liked. You are here to dominate your calling. You are here to fulfill your mission. You are here to win. Let the weak stay in the dirt where it is safe. You belong on the mountain. Walk through the fire, face the darks, and take what is rightfully yours. The time for being nice is over. It is time to become unstoppable. If you felt the truth in these words, if you are ready to bury your weak self and step into your true divine authority, do not just scroll away. Claim this moment. Lock this frequency into your soul. Like this video to spread this light to those who are ready to wake up. Subscribe to join the circle of the chosen who refuse to live small. And type "I am unstoppable" in the comments right now, so the world knows you have officially stepped into your power. Amen.